The breaking news of the night is Newsweek reporting tonight. FBI Director James Comey attempted to go public as early as the summer of 2016 with information on Russia's campaign to influence the U.S. presidential election, but Obama administration officials blocked him from doing so. Two sources with knowledge of the matter tell Newsweek. And that well before the Department of Homeland Security and the Office of the Director of National Intelligence accused the Russian government of tampering with the U.S. election. In an October 7th statement, Comey pitched the idea of writing an op-ed about the Russian campaign. The other national security officials didn't like the idea, and White House officials thought the announcement should be a coordinated message backed by multiple agencies. Joining us now, the co-author of that Newsweek report, Max Kutner, senior writer for Newsweek. Max, this is a real stunner because people have already been questioning why the Obama administration revealed as little as it did, when it did, and now it turns out there was a push to reveal more and reveal it sooner.
We heard a little bit of information from the federal government in October. We heard a lot of information in this declassified report that came out in January. But yes, this would have been half a year before that. We're told in June or July. And
was this part of just a general underestimation of what Russia was up to?
Hard to say. What I'm told by people who know FBI Director James Comey and know his leadership style, he's very transparent. That's what we saw in July with his press conference over the Hillary Clinton email investigation. That's what we've seen since then. A lot of people say he's actually too transparent. So this would have been in line with that. He wanted to get out what he wanted to say, perhaps to the New York Times. That's what we're told.
Any indication? What are your best indications about why the Obama administration did not want to make this public earlier?
Sure. We're told that they wanted a more coordinated effort. And that's the kind of effort that we did see in their October statement, and then we saw again later on in January. They felt that to write an op-ed to the New York Times would not be enough of a joint effort.
And were they afraid that no matter what they did, it would look political, that they were just struggling with how do we get out there and not look like we are using administration assets to politicize this?
It wouldn't surprise me if they were thinking that, given that this was happening, we're told, in June or July. This was at not only the height of the election season with the conventions were going on at this time, but it's also at the height of this Hillary Clinton email controversy and the FBI's investigation into that. In July, we saw Director Comey holding his press conference that a lot of people said was unusual. So the FBI was already being scrutinized as being seen as political, and that scrutiny only continued later on into, as we all know, October 28th with his letter.
But right in the middle of all that heat about Comey's public comments about the Hillary Clinton investigation, and the heat being that the FBI never comments, except this time they did. In the middle of all of that, he wanted more. He actually wanted to step into that same heat or that same issue of commenting on another investigation, in this case, the Russian investigation.
That's what my colleague Josh Saul and I found, apparently so. And again, this is what I'm told by several people with the FBI. This is his style. This certainly was not the style of his predecessors, his immediate predecessor, Director Mueller. This is James Comey. He's a transparent person, and a lot of people have scrutinized him for it.
Max Kutner, thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me.